Hey, what's up, you guys? Hal, your best pal here. This week's video is a pre-trip guide for Israel. So let's get right into it. Hey, what's up? Or should I say shalom, boker tov. To that, you can respond by saying boker or. All right, so now for the Q&A portion of this video. Question 1. What words of advice do I have for you all so that you can make the most of the trip? Well, um, definitely I would recommend doing the readings that are given to you for the night before. This was something that I promised myself that I was going to do every single night, was the readings before, or anything that he had provided for us to do beforehand for the next day. It was incredibly helpful to have that prior knowledge for the next day, so that when you're given the talk, you're kind of recalling the things that you read last night, piecing things together, relearning things that you didn't know the first time around, and it's just really overall a very impactful thing to do, so I would highly recommend doing that. Okay, secondly, I think it's very impactful to see everyone on your trip, everyone that you pass on the street, as perfect, and really holding everyone to a really just a really high place in your thought. It's so impactful to have good relationships with all the kids on your trip, and just throughout the whole trip, I just got so close to everyone, and I just started seeing the absolute most good in everyone and seeing all the qualities they're expressed. Even if I thought highly of them before, I would be like, wow, I never realized like how wonderful it is that this person expresses this quality. Okay, another thing that the kids on my trip found super important was after talks, we would get together in small groups on the bus, and after each talk, discuss what you learned and compare notes. Take lots and lots of notes during talks, because if you think you'll remember anything later, you won't. You need to write it down. But getting into small groups and discussing what you've read is so incredible. It's so interesting to see what other kids got out of the talk that was just given that you didn't even think about. I have two more pieces of advice. One, every place of worship or church that you go to, I would highly recommend singing hymns. With singing hymns is such a wonderful part of the trip that I will never forget. It's really honestly kind of like moving. I know I cried at one of the churches because it was just so beautiful. So I would highly recommend taking the time to stop and do that. And then lastly, when you give gratitude at the end of the day, when you have a gratitude session, really make those a genuine, honest activity. And take the time to share if you feel inclined to share, or anything throughout the day that you really found helpful, or any healings you had. That was a really bonding time of the day, and we would spend almost up to 2 hours just having gratitude sessions, and that is something that I will never forget. And the things that people said, I still remember to this day. So definitely make the most of that and really cherish that time. All right, next question. What was my favorite location? Doesn't necessarily have to be a talk, and why? I'm not going to say my favorite talk because I'm going to wait and leave that for you guys to have all the talks. But my favorite location was definitely the Old City. It's so incredibly beautiful. That's what I find breathtaking. I loved photographing it. What is something you forgot and regretted? I'm not quite sure what Emac means by this question. I don't know if he means like a piece of clothing or some quality that you like left behind, like forgot my dignity. but but something that I forgot and regretted was definitely not to shave before the Dead Sea. I cannot stress this enough. Don't shave your face or your legs or any part of your body for that matter, because it's not a fun experience. So, if you want to know more about my journey to the Dead Sea, it lasted about 30 seconds. Yeah, after 30 seconds of being in the Dead Sea, I couldn't. And then I just had to sit on the pier while the rest of my friends were out there splashing around, putting mud all over each other, and I couldn't join. Come to me, and I can further explain the misery that I felt because I done shaved. All right, so what is something I did and I will never forget? Definitely going to the Wailing Wall was just a really crazy experience. And honestly, every location we went to was very impactful and special in its own way, because it's like, wow, I've read about this in the Bible. And then after you leave the trip, you'll be reading the lesson, or you'll be in Sunday school and you'll be talking about someplace, and I'll be like, ah, I've been there. And I just want to like raise my hand during Sunday school and be like, I've been there, but I don't want to be that kid. It just kind of changes the way you read the Bible. What is something you've learned that you're still using today? Well, my favorite story of all time is the Fishers of Men story, so I loved having that talk. Another thing that I found really cool is one day they were talking about personality and how that's very like surface level and it's very like personal, material. Hallie, this is my personality, which I'd never thought of before as a really like a negative thing to say, like, oh, this person's personality. But I kind of connected together the difference between character and personality, and so that was something that I still think about today, is looking to see people's true character and not personality. I have so many notes from every talk. So anyway, Lucky Mac, I still have it. Also, you guys are lucky you never had to make one of these. Moving on. Next question. Any tips? Foods to try, how much to bring or spend, and what to buy? That rhymes. Okay, so there's shawarma and there's falafel. Personally, I'm a falafel kind of gal, but definitely try both, even if you're not vegetarian. Hummus and like the flat naan bread. Oh my gosh, I could eat so much of that. At the hotel, girl, you're in for a real treat. How much to bring or spend? Honestly, that's up to you. Some people brought like hundreds of dollars. I think I brought 100. I don't even know if I spent it all. But my piece of advice for spending, you do you. You buy whatever you like the most. Personally, I'm not a trinkets kind of gal, so just be cautious, because some of like the gift stores, when in places that you'll go, have more of like trinket type things. Personally, I like more authentic things, so I would wait for the Old City I got like beautiful bowls and dishes and beautiful plates, and they have lots and lots of cool like Israeli pants there, even though any other country you go to, they're like, these are just Samunye pants, these are just Israel pants, but they're like all the same pants. But how much to bring? Clothing wise, okay, guys, do whatever you want, as long as you're, don't bring too many pairs of shorts, because you'll have to cover your knees and your legs and whatever. But girls, you really don't need to pack that much. Like, if you want to just have cute photo shoots and all that, just wait till Bible 4, go to Greece, wear whatever you want. But don't bring that many clothes. Make sure they're very, very, very modest. Like, if you're bringing a maxi skirt, they can't even have slits in them because they'll make you cover it up. Like, it just has to be incredibly modest. But don't bring that much, because once you get to the hotel, you're just gonna wear what everyone else brought anyway. You don't want to be that one American girl that's like wearing something that's just too much. You can get every American sports team in Hebrew, so that's cool, Hook 'em horns, you can get that. I know you guys are all gonna have such a wonderful time, and I'm so grateful that you've chosen to take his class and go on this trip. It's honestly such an amazing experience. I grew so much and I learned so much, and it's so like impactful being with kids your age and going and learning more about the Bible. It's just a really cool experience that not a lot of kids get. And know that all the Bible for Kids, and 3, I'm sure, but all the Bible for Kids are here loving you and wishing you all the best. And we cannot wait to hear all about it and talk with you guys when you get back. So lots of love. Mwah.